I gotta get these damn things worked on too. All right, so it's 35. Okay, I gotta get that thing going. Ah, crap! You gotta be kidding me. No, I gotta get that down. Oh, good lord, I'm alive. No, I'm live. Okay, that's a different story altogether. Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? It's about 1:04 in the morning, West Coast time. It's January 6th, 2025, not 2021. There's a Reddit. There's a reason why I said that in the first place. A few years back, when President Joe Biden won the nomination for the presidency of the United States, apparently there was some people will be just downplaying it, saying, "Oh, it's just a little tour group going through the Capitol." No, this was a full-scale riot on television. Many channels captured it, and maybe one or two networks tried to deny what the hell happened, while everyone else was saying, "No, it was happening." And there was death, there was a lot of injury, and a lot of damage, and a way of telling Congress and telling the American people that one president was not going to get out of office that easily. Now he's in office and he's acting more of a whiner baby than anything else before. And this is the same guy that the American voters had put into office the last time. Well, actually before Biden. So now they got him back. And now we get to have chaos and confusion even worse. And the reason why I selected my particular title for this morning is I'm waiting for my dog to wake up and give me hell. She must be obeyed. Will not be ignored. My dog is a lot more whiner and more tentative needed, more attention needed than anything else. But we are dealing with an anniversary 4 years ago that put America into a headlock. We actually had ballots being threatened at the time of not getting certified by the outgoing administration. When you have a vice president being threatened by a populace, by a population outside, breaking and entering and trying to crush people, hurt people, and kill people, there was a there was death, and the trauma still lives on. But some people still want to forget it. It was nothing to them, despite the fact there was overwhelming evidence and people are already locked up, and some of those are actually getting released, and the rest of them are still waiting for the release. And now to have those steps outside the hallowed halls of Congress to be dirtied by those who caused, or actually are part of the insurrection caused by the elected gas bag that just got into office. And as I said before in many of my videos, I blame the American voters for this one. You wanted this. You wanted the chaos and confusion. You wanted the populace. Once it turns out to be an authoritative regime, takes away everything else we know to be true about America, history, customs, traditions, everything. We have a president that died before the year changed. And we are honoring that president by the last presidential decree from the outgoing administration for 30 days. And yes, it will interfere with inauguration. But do you think the incoming would understand and comprehend this? This is not about ego. This is about celebrating a former president's life, giving him the respect that he earned. That according to United States traditions, everything that we hold sacred, we honor those who actually got into office. And believe it or not, every time there was a president that died in office, we actually had flags at half staff to pay tribute. May have been a rotten leader, or he may have been a good leader. One of these here days, one of these here days, we're going to have a female president. One of these here days. I'm still waiting, not patiently and not impatiently. And if I live long enough, I may see one or two other elder statesmen who have held the title of POTUS to be honored in our same values and our same traditions as having the flags half staff, regardless of who's coming in and out of the administration or coming into the executive branch. I said before in my other videos, I cried like crazy on this one. I did. Because as a kid, I lived through that time, watching it on television, reading in the papers, not comprehending what was going on, how important it was of the time he got into office. And yes, probably looking back, maybe the economies are a little bit screwed up, and he tried his best, and I'm not going to knock it against his ass on that one. But he did something in foreign relations that even I hadn't seen done so well, even though two leaders who had shaken hands signed a peace accord between two countries battling out over Sinai. Both leaders get assassinated by their own extremists. And then it's not the presidential events that happen in his term, it's the humanitarian in him that actually did things to help humanity, which I hadn't seen anybody when they got out of office really getting into it. Not even the one who just got back into office. He was so hell bent on getting it back in there and wanting revenge that he motivated his voters enough. And unfortunately, Democrats and independents didn't take it seriously enough. So, 4 more years of chaos and confusion. And again, I blame the voters because they didn't pay attention, they didn't care. And if they did care, well, so much for caring. We got the gas bag in office. But this was an event unprecedented in U.S. history. In 247 years, or 248 years, coming up in July, we had never seen an insurrection like this before. Oh, we've seen a civil war back in 1860 through 1864 as part of U.S. history. And there was a lot of bloodshed. We fought each other. We fought each other for various reasons. And we're still fighting each other verbally out there. We're also fighting it with more bloodshed. But here and there, it's still there, the anger, the hatred, the vitriol, the disgust. We wanted to move forward. We can't move forward because we're so chained to the anger, the vitriol, to old traditions that won't die, to the old anger, lack of empathy, a lot of disgust. We look at history not just for the marks made, we also look at that humanity, how we've treated each other. Through stories, through letters, through pictures. how we see ourselves. Some of us laugh at it. Others weep with good reason. We're going to see it happen again and again, more so. On this day, flags are still at half staff. Yeah. Amazon's Fire tablet strikes again. Updates. On this date, we are remembering that horrible day back in 2001. I don't care if anybody else has an issue over the damn thing. We have it recorded. There are testimonies. There are observations. There are witnesses. There was a trial, long ass hearing, in public, on record. Some people say it's fake news. Well, if you were there, you called it fake news too. If you were seeing a national disaster happening in front of you, you still called it fake news. Put on the blinders and just say, I don't see anything. Put in the earplugs and say, I don't hear anything. And then gag your mouth. You don't say a damn word about it. Hello, three monkeys. How you doing? But that's what's happening, isn't it? People want to forget, at least those who are the mouthiest, because they know it happened. They saw it. They don't care. They just want to bash people's heads in because that's what makes them feel better. They call that being American. No, I call him a Tory. If you were siding with the British, and this was among the colonies, you were a Tory. You were siding with the Redcoats. You were siding with an overseas bully who had his bully boys and Reds dictating things. And yes, there are rebels, and we, as Americans, soon to be Americans, rebelled violently. We gave warning. We told them, don't do this. They didn't listen. And for several years, long bloody campaigns. Well, we finally got our country, but it took us a hell of a long time, a lot of bloodshed, anger, and vitriol at each other to get it going. Still carries over to this day. People make fun of it. They make fun of my country that I'm born in. I'm born in the state of California. And it's gone through its changes between conservative and liberalism, depending upon people's opinions and viewpoints and who they've got elected into the governorship. Either we survived, thrived, or we crashed and burned, depending on which administration. But I'm still a native. I'm born in a state. I'm born in the country, United States of America. I don't wear the American flag. I don't do the ultra fascist. If I'm going to show my country's, if I'm going to show what my country means to me, that's through actions, not by pins. If I happen to see a flag at half staff, I will mourn, I will weep, I will cry. My hand will be over my heart. I saw President Carter's services happening. chunks of it on social media. I just couldn't stand seeing the rest of it. It hurt. It hurt. Because believe it or not, he meant something, and I didn't even realize it. It's not because of the term in office, but because of what he was doing after the office, which mattered the most. Being a human being, showing empathy, dignity, respect, humility, humbleness, gratitude, love, kindness, joy. How can you not be humbled by simple man's works through his hands and through his heart? I've been having a hard time since his passage. If you guys actually look at the title of my own channel, you would understand. I didn't see the politics in the man. I saw the man. I wish I had been graced by his presence, just for one fleet passing moment. I would have gladly shaken his hand, given him a bear hug, and I would thank him, not just for his service to the country, but the service to humanity. That's the thing that most to me. But I have people who are selfish and self-centered and seeing that the flags are at half staff. They don't care. Not one person doesn't give a hoot. Because it steals his moment, steals his thunder. He has none of the qualities as I mentioned earlier. He lies. His actions betray him all the time. Time when he was in office that he wanted to get a Photoshop, actually wanted to get a photo op actually at a local church. And the people who are around him, or actually around that church, had to be evacuated just so he can hold up an upside down Bible and think he's godly. Just so he can court the evangelical votes. And he has to have a rally right after he's already coming up on the time for being sworn in, just to prove that he is worthy. He is worthy of attention. I've known a lot of people who have passed away were more worthy of attention than he was. And true, some of them actually did serve the countries, but there were others who served those who served. They had more honor and respect than anything else. A day like this is not exactly a somber day for me to memorialize, except I will memorialize the passing of a man who gave more and didn't ask for anything in return. Actually, to be loved back a little bit. But to know that he was doing it out of the wellness of his heart. I couldn't find the words a long time ago to say about President Jimmy Carter. I wish I had. I know he's with his beloved wife. And they are watching us. And there are those who still mourn him and his wife's passage with tears and howls. But they also to action to spread the love around. Not the vitriol, not the anger, but the human heart. There is a gentleman I know online who was having issues regarding what to see, or actually what to talk about. He couldn't see things that he could relate to. And I had. You start threatening to privatize U.S. Postal Service for political and monetary gain. Bad move. Bad move. Means you don't care about the country. First Postmaster General was Benjamin Franklin. Inventor, statesman, postmaster, among other things. And he may have had a colorful past, but I still respect the guy. I respect what he's done and the intention of the U.S. Postal Service. Changing times has to reflect changing tactics in order to survive. For privatization, I don't go for it. As for a day like this, to just say that January 6, 2021 didn't happen. I know there's a lot of cops out there who've been on media for a long while. Been silent, and some of them not so silent. And they're pissed off at the new administration, not to mention the newly elected, coming into office, making remarks on social media all the damn time. You're not earning any points, pal. Nowhere on that one. There's been a lot of changes that we're still afraid of going through, but we need to. This is not a Christian nation. This is a pluralistic nation. We recognize, but we don't make official of any religion of any sort. We are open to everyone's form of whatever belief they have. We give them the freedom to do so, to worship in any which way they want. But we are not saying that we only have one religion and that's the only thing we recognize. No. Not the Holy Roman Empire, you schmucks. This is the United States of America. We're supposed to be pluralistic. That means I can say that I'm a Christian, but I also support people who are Jewish, who are Muslim, who follow Islam, Hindu, and various other religions out there. They have theirs, I have mine. I don't need to interfere with theirs, except maybe to share information and understanding, to get clarification of a few points here and there. But not to say that my religion tops yours because I say so. That means my own ego is above everybody else, including the laws, including the Constitution of the United States of America. Shall we, boys and girls, try to go back over to that U.S. Constitution and check out the amendments one more time? I've said it many times on my channel. Everybody else has been saying it on their channel. So let us go to the Constitution of the United States. We're going to constitution.congress.gov/constitution. We got the articles, but the First Amendment. And it would say, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Of course, there's more to it to say. So I got a problem concerning about all these so-called Christian nationalists who say they want this particular form of religion. Sorry, ain't gonna happen in my country. Not if I got anything to say about it. Not if everybody else has got something to say about it. They don't like it. Deal with that one. We're not anti-establishment. And whatever you see online concerning about the Karen crap, this is not Trump's America. This is the United States of America. Get over it. You don't like the history? That's up to you. You want to be ignorant about things? Be my guest. Not internet just doesn't have all the information. We also have books out there. Oh my God, that's horrible. Printed words on paper, on parchment, ink on it, in a language we may not understand. Well, apparently somebody didn't pass kindergarten through 12th grade, now did you? And understand what written language was all about. I get pissed off when people talk about that one. Yeah, there's a lot of things that people are saying online that we're reacting to like crazy. We have pastors out there, or so-called evangelists and so-called pastors out there, who said that they are the Word of God, they are the representative of God. Yeah, well, on that one, I don't do that to God. I do that to the people who keep pretending. I know. I would listen. I would understand who I would trust and who I don't trust. And every time I keep seeing these grifters coming up over here, oh, no, 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 I'm not dealing with these guys. I know there's other pastors out there who counter all these grifters. I tip my hat over to them, but I ain't got a hat on here to tip. As for that friend of mine back east who has nothing to watch or see, well, apparently he's not, he's got his own way of dealing with things. That's all right. We have our own ways of dealing with what we delight, what we find delight in, what we don't like. And the politicians are still trying to screw us over one way or another by confusing us left and right. We had death, we had tragedy past several days. There's no political crap on that one, except people did do politics on that one, reacting afterwards. But in finding out that maybe one or two of these guys have a problem with our country, one way or another. It's been reported that the guy who did the New Orleans, he was a convert, and yet he was a U.S. born citizen in Texas. U.S. Army served, but he had issues. And unfortunately, he turned to fanaticism. It didn't help him or anybody else that very much, except more blood on his hands. As for the other idiot who did the Tesla truck explosion out in front of Trump Tower in Las Vegas, Nevada, that didn't help him much, did it? Popping his brains out before the truck blew itself up. Fortunately, they just blew off the fireworks, and that's about it. But there were still injuries, but there's still shock on that one. And we're still trying to find more information. The FBI is still working on that one. So other than that, this is Monday. This is a time when I should be sleeping my ass off. But I'm still waiting for my dog to wake up. And when she wakes up, she's going to be whining her head off, wondering where I am. So, that being said, boys and girls, I'll be doing a video follow-up on my channel, The Diary of a Griever Named John Weaver. And unfortunately, during this holiday season, we just got past. I'm coming up into a season that's going to be kicking my ass for next month. And that is going on my video.